Hello there, Cancer. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast for the week of April 29th through May the 5th. I have already cleared your deck for the reading. I'm just putting the final shuffle on while we get ready here. This is a general reading, so not everything that I see will apply to every Cancer who watches this video. If you guys would like to have a private reading, or if you might want a private Reiki session, either one, all you have to do is get a hold of me. I can usually get those scheduled pretty quickly for you. You can find all my contact information on my website, which is www.amista.info. I-N-F-O. Let's see what kind of cards you have coming up for the week, Cancers. All right, let's take a peek here. First thing that I'm looking at talks to me about your environment, Cancer, and it looks to me like you've had a lot of options around your environment lately. And remember, an environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. It doesn't have to be home, although usually it is. So there's been a lot of options around your environment, and it looks feeling like some of you have decided not to move or not to change your residence or the place of work, but it was a thought. You guys were considering what are other options we could do. And for a lot of you, the same option where you have been has remained your option, although not for all of you. Some of you have changed it, but whatever it was, you were looking at a lot of options, and now you've decided, okay, this is what I want to focus on, whatever that may be for each of you. La da da. The next thing that we have talks to me about your subconscious leanings. Cancers, it looks to me like there's some kind of situation in your life that you're not feeling very hopeful around. It's something that you want, something you would like to manifest or create in your life, but you're just kind of feeling like, how can I pull this off? I just don't know how I'm going to do this. And your subconscious is working on, okay, so how can we do that? All right, so that's where your subconscious leanings are, main theme for the week at least. Cancer's next, what I'm looking at, talks to me about your learning style and also your communication style. So, learning style looks to me like some of you are going to night school, or some of you are doing research in the evenings or in the nights about the things that you want to learn about. Communication style. Cancers, I really think that there's something going on where you're communicating in such a way that it's kind of hard for people to understand where you're coming from or why you're saying the things that you're saying. I think you're being very clear about what you're saying. I just don't think you're being very clear about your motivations or why you think what you're saying is important. Okay? You may not feel like that's other people's business. Next thing we're going to look at will be work. Better than next thing we're going to work at will be look. Okay, so most of you know that for me, work is two things. It's that way that we make a living, and it's also what we do to improve our own characters. So, as far as the way that you're making a living, there's definitely something that you're waiting for at work. You may be waiting for word to find out if you've been hired, or waiting for word to find out if you've been promoted, or if they're building a new wing for your department, or if you're getting a bonus. But there's definitely something going on having to do with work where you are waiting to see what happens. You're kind of in suspense. The other thing that we have coming up about inner work, I think that you're really focusing on two things for inner work right now. The first of those is meditation, taking the time to really calm your mind, to bring peace in, and also playfulness. I'm picking up, Cancers, that you're working on your playfulness. I don't know that I've ever seen that coming up for inner work before, but there it is. There it is. All right, next thing that we're looking at talks to me about that part of your personality that's being grown or expanded through the week, or at least the main theme of it. Looks like there is some kind of forced downtime. So when we tie that in with your outer work, it could be that maybe things are going slow at work, or maybe you're not working as many hours there. This doesn't have to be tied to work, but it seems like a pretty easy connect the dots for most of you. But for others of you, this could be forced downtime in that there's something else going on that's keeping you from doing all the things that you would normally do during your average day. And as we go into this forced downtime, what happens is we have more time to think about things that we would not normally consider. And so we come out of this actually having new, more updated perspectives and opinions on some of the things going on in our lives. So, yeah, forced downtime is the lesson or experience or the part of our personality that's being expanded right now. So, learning how to deal with that forced downtime in a positive and constructive way. Excuse me. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about those things that you stand for. Looks to me, Cancers, you are actually standing up for being yourself. Um, yeah. Okay. So it seems to me like whenever I dig in here a little bit more, what's going on is somebody around you is trying to change you or make you to be more like them or act more like them. And you're pretty comfortable acting as who you are. And I think that this may even be a little bit of a newfound skill or a newfound talent. A lot of times, water signs can be very malleable and we can adjust to the personalities of the people that we're around. But I think that you're coming into your own, Cancer, and you are doing the things that you love to do and that you want to do and that makes sense to you. And I think that this other person may be um, kind of backlashing against that. They're not used to you being in this space where you just, you do you. You pay attention to what makes you happy as opposed to what makes everybody happy around you. And so they're having a hard time with you just being yourself and doing what you like to do. All right, so that's why you're having to stand up for yourself, Cancers. How other people perceive you is the next thing that I'm looking at. I feel like they are starting to see you as somebody who has surprised them or who is full of surprises for them. Excuse me, as you're making this transition from being malleable and sort of reflective of them to being more of yourself, they are, you're catching them off of guards, and so they're seeing you as somebody who is surprising them. Okay. The next thing that we have coming up is the lesson or experience for the week. You've got some interesting things going on. Lesson or experience really talks to me about manifesting things. This is letting the universe know exactly what it is that you hope for or that you dream of, that you would like to have manifest in your life, and turning it over to the universe to bring you those inspired ideas about how to get there, but really leaving it in the universe's hands, just letting the universe know. All right. And then as you are making your wishes and your dreams known to the universe, some things are happening. Some good, some bad. Well, I shouldn't even say bad. That's too strong of a word, but some that are not as helpful. So, first of all, it looks like even though you're making your wishes known to the universe, the timing really isn't right yet to have those things come back to you just right now. It's not the right timing for those wishes or those dreams to actually take manifest form in your life. That's going to take some time. And so you're being called upon to be patient and to not give up on those things that you've put out there to the universe. The other thing that's going on, and I think this is really good, this is really cathartic, it clears the energy really well for us, and that is that you are letting some things go that you were holding on to. So grudges, angers, hurts, things like that, you're letting those go. And as you let those go, that loosens up the energy for you so that those things that you've told the universe I want, the universe is able to bring them to you much more quickly because you have fewer blockages around you and as far as the emotions that you're holding on to. The end of the week sees you, Cancers, really taking good care of yourselves, pampering yourselves, doing some self love. I see a lot of self love here. Um, I don't see a lot of focus on romance. This doesn't mean that there's nobody in your life, but I think the real focus towards the end of the week is really about taking care of you. And that kind of ties in with, what we saw you standing for earlier, this whole idea of you're doing yourself. And so this is all about pampering yourself, loving on yourself, treating yourself well, not being hard on yourself. So that's where we see you at the end of the week. Looks like a good week, Cancers. You've got a little bit of friction from somebody who does not understand why you're changing, but other than that, you've got a pretty good week coming up. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Everybody, thank you so much for stopping by, for hanging out, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. I do appreciate all the support. Those of you who would like to have a private reading or a private Reiki session, check out my website, www.amista.info. Get my contact information and get a hold of me. We can usually get something scheduled for you on the quick. All right, peace out, everybody. Hey, Libra Chick. Glad to see you. I'm taking off now. Have a great week.